Onward to Babylon! The gates stand open! Great King!
The first cities did not create peace. They created neighbors. And neighbors compete. Between the Tigris and Euphrates, cities rose close to one another. They shared the same rivers, the same farmland, the same trade routes. And when one city grew stronger, the others became nervous. One ruler would soon ask a question no one had asked before. What if I did not rule just one city? What if I ruled them all? That question would change history. Because this is where something new was born. Not just a city, not just a kingdom, an empire. Early Mesopotamia was not one country. It was many small city-states. Uruk, Ur-Lagash, Kish, each had its own god, its own ruler, its own army. Antashfeel. They built walls, guarded canals, argued over land and water. Sometimes they traded. Often they fought. No city was strong enough to control the others for long. But every battle taught them something. How to organize soldiers, how to supply an army, how to win and how to lose. And slowly, leaders began to think bigger. The man who changed the scale. Around 2334 BC, a man named Sargon of Akkad rose to power. His story is partly legend. Some later texts say he was born in secret, raised by a gardener, climbed to power through skill and ambition. What we know is this: he was not satisfied ruling one city. He built a strong army, the first professional one in history. He marched south, and one by one, he defeated the Sumerian city-states. But he did something unusual. He did not destroy them. He kept them. For the first time in history, many cities were ruled under one authority. This became the Akkadian Empire, the first known empire in the world. How do you rule so many people? Conquering cities was one thing. Keeping them loyal was harder. Sargon placed trusted governors in conquered cities. He created a standing army loyal to him, not to local rulers. Administration became more organized. The Akkadian language spread through government and record-keeping. Local gods were not removed, but above every city stood one king. For the first time, power was centralized. Empire meant more than land. It meant control of loyalty. Why the first empire fell. The Akkadian Empire grew quickly. Maybe too quickly. Rebellions broke out. Distant cities resisted control. Maintaining armies was expensive. There is also evidence of climate stress. Drought may have made farming harder. After about a century, the empire weakened. Internal revolt. External invasion. Environmental pressure. It collapsed, and history revealed a pattern we still see today. It is easier to conquer than to sustain. A new kind of power, Babylon. From the ruins, new cities rose. One of them was Babylon. Around 1792 BD, a king named Hammurabi came to power. He was not the first king to create laws, but he understood something important. Power needs structure. So he did something bold. He carved laws into stone and placed them in public view. This became known as the Code of Hammurabi. For the first time, law was visible, not whispered, not remembered, written. What the code really meant. The code covered daily life, property, marriage, debt, trade, violence, labor, slavery. Punishment depended on social status. A noble and a laborer were not judged the same. Justice was not equal. But something new had happened. The king presented himself as a guardian of order, not just a warrior, not just a priest, a lawgiver. Kingship was becoming legal, not only sacred. The system behind the power. Babylon did not survive on laws alone. It relied on administration. Taxes were collected. Contracts were written. Weights and measures were standardized. Trade expanded to Anatolia, the Levant, even the Indus Valley. Writing now handled diplomacy, trade agreements, legal disputes. Government was becoming permanent, more organized, more structured, more complex. The limits of control. But laws did not end inequality. Class divisions remained strong. Slavery continued. Women had limited legal rights. When needed, kings still used force. Law supported power. It did not restrain it. Babylon, like Akkad before it, eventually weakened. Because ruling cities is one challenge, ruling generations is another. Time tests every empire. Mesopotamia had changed the world. It gave us cities, then empires, then written law. But power was becoming sharper, more organized, more disciplined. And soon, a new empire would rise. An empire feared for its military strength, for its strict control, for its brutality. The Assyrian Empire. Mesopotamia had learned how to build cities. It had learned how to write. It had learned how to create laws. But now, it would learn something harder. How to survive in a world where every neighbor was a threat. Power no longer stood only in temples. It marched. It trained. It carried iron weapons. And it asked a simple question. How far can fear hold an empire together? Mesopotamia was rich. Its rivers fed golden fields. Its cities stored grain, metal, and wealth. But it had no mountains to protect it, no natural borders to slow an enemy. Its cities stood exposed, on open plains. As kingdoms grew stronger, they also grew more afraid. Afraid of invasion. Afraid of rebellion. Afraid of losing everything they had built. So defense slowly turned into expansion. If we control our neighbors, rulers reasoned, they cannot attack us, and so war stopped being rare. It became policy. The rise of the Assyrians. In northern Mesopotamia, a kingdom had been growing quietly, the Assyrian Empire. At first they were traders, then survivors, then soldiers. By the 9th century B, Assyria had changed. Its kings were not only rulers, they were commanders. War was no longer something temporary. It became the center of the state. Young men trained as soldiers. Industry supported weapons. Campaigns happened almost every year. Assyria did not prepare for war. Assyria lived in war. The Assyrians built one of the most organized armies the ancient world had ever seen. Professional soldiers, not just farmers, called to fight. Iron weapons, stronger than bronze. Cavalry units that moved fast across open land. Siege engines that battered city walls. Cities that once could survive long sieges were now vulnerable. Walls were broken, gates burned. Populations were deported, moved far away from their homes. This was not random violence. It was calculated. Rebellion became harder when communities were scattered. Fear became a weapon. Assyrian kings did something unusual. They wrote about their brutality. Royal inscriptions describe punishments, executions, destroyed cities. To us, it sounds horrifying. To them, it was a warning. The message was simple: submit and live, resist and be erased. Fear reduced rebellion. Fear saved time. Fear saved resources. But fear also creates silence, and silence is not loyalty. Assyria was not chaos. It was organized. Conquered lands were divided into provinces. Governors were appointed. Tribute was recorded and collected. Road systems allowed messages to travel quickly across vast distances. The capital city, Nineveh, became one of the largest cities in the world. Under kings like Ashurbanipal, libraries were built. Texts were preserved. Knowledge was collected. Even in an empire known for war, culture continued. Empires are rarely simple. They build, even as they destroy. But constant war is expensive. Armies need food. Weapons require metal. Campaigns drain manpower. And conquered people do not forget. When strong kings ruled, the empire held together. When weaker rulers followed, cracks appeared. Rebellions returned. Enemies gathered strength. Resources thinned. An empire built on fear must constantly prove its strength, and that is exhausting. By the late 7th century BC, Assyria faced enemies on many sides. The Babylonians rebelled, the Medes attacked from the east, former subjects united against their former master. In 612 BC, Nineveh fell. The capital was destroyed. Within a few years, the empire vanished. It had conquered widely, but it had not built lasting loyalty. Terror can win obedience, but it cannot create trust. Final empires of Mesopotamia, new but reflective momentum. After Assyria's fall, Babylon rose again. Under Nebuchadnezzar II, it flourished briefly. But a new power was rising in the east, the Achaemenid Persian Empire. In 539 BC, Cyrus the Great entered Babylon.
Onward to Babylon!
The city was taken with little destruction. Mesopotamia was not erased. It was absorbed. Its political dominance ended, but its ideas lived on. The legacy that never disappeared. Expansive close. Between the Tigris and Euphrates, humanity learned how to build cities, how to write, how to create laws, how to organize empires, how to wage organized war. Later civilizations inherited these ideas. Egypt, Persia, Greece, Rome. Even today, governments use bureaucracy. Armies organize in ranks. Laws are written and displayed. The patterns began here. Mesopotamia did not create a perfect world. It created the blueprint of civilization. Brilliant, creative, ambitious, and sometimes brutal. Here, humanity discovered how powerful organized society could be, and how fragile it always remains. In the next episode, we move east to the ancient Egypt. Like video, subscribe the channel, and press bell icon for more update.